All right. So I'm out here at a client's place, and we are taking a look at a couple of riding mowers. One of them you see behind me. It's a Husqvarna. It's actually fairly new. There was, what, only 16 hours or something you said? 4 hours on it. Okay. Had a fuel problem. I'll show you what I did. I actually did this yesterday and forgot to film it. But I'll show you what I did. It was, you know, an easy troubleshoot, easy fix. Got him going. This one is a John Deere, the 115, and don't know the status on it. I knew the battery was drained, so I just took it home yesterday, let it charge overnight. So we're gonna try to crank it here and then do the basic troubleshooting and see how it goes. And here's our buddy. Mr. Pretty Boy. So here's the Husqvarna. Low miles, it's in great shape. Has a Kawasaki, the FR 730V. Excellent engine. This thing runs really, really smooth. I think between the Kawasaki's and the Hondas, they're my favorites. This one is just really a smooth running engine. But when we tried to start it, it would crank, but nothing would happen, you know, and it sounded like a fuel problem. So the only way I troubleshooted it, the first thing I did, I took off, well, I can visually inspect the fuel filter there, and it looked okay. I just disconnected the hose on the fuel pump, and when I try to crank it, sure enough, there is gas coming out of there. So I just moved on down the line. I took this off. I was going to inspect the carburetor, but the next thing I noticed, let's see if you can see that. Yeah. The next thing I noticed when I was turning the key on and off, I wasn't hearing any clicking from the fuel solenoid. So that's the first thing I did. I just took the fuel solenoid off and disconnected the wire. Checked it with the key. There was power getting to it. And then when I took that off, sure enough, the little plunger was just stuck, extended, right? So I cleaned that off, got some carburetor cleaner, cleaned it off, got it moving freely, put it back together, and poof, it cranked right up. So that was an easy troubleshoot. Just always try to start at one point and work your way over. But other than that, it was good to go. Really nice mower. So now we're going to go over here and work on this John Deere, and you can see I just plopped the battery back in, and it's not that old. It says February 19, so it's not quite 2 years old. A year and 10 months, and it looks like it took a charge, a full charge, and I checked it this morning and it's still charged. So let's get it hooked up. We'll start cranking on it and troubleshoot this sucker. Alright, let's see if it'll turn over. The engine's not frozen. It's got to be a bad connection somewhere because it's showing plenty of voltage all the way through. Yeah. The fuse good? Yeah, I checked that yesterday. Fuse is good. It could be a bad ground.
No. man.
Let me try this real quick once again before I... Yeah, it's just a bad connection.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sure it was just a bad ground. Yeah.
Okay,
let's check and make sure it's got some spark. So if you saw what I was doing there, I'll go back and retighten. It's just a bad ground connection. It felt like, yep, there it goes. So I'll go back and tighten that up, and I'm going to check and make sure there's spark. And if there's spark, then I'll go in and make sure there's fuel getting to the carburetor. So I could smell the gas, but that doesn't mean that it's actually getting there. But I'll do the same thing. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to check for spark. And take a look at the spark plug, because the spark plug usually tells the tale, you know. Then I'll disconnect the fuel hose coming from the pump and make sure there's gas getting to it. And if that's the case, then we know it probably just needs a carb clean. I'll spray some carb cleaner in there and see if it'll crank. So I have a feeling we're gonna have this thing running pretty quick. Yeah, so that's a brand new plug. Doesn't look like it's been fired at all. So let's put that back in. Let's put our spark plug tester on it. Saw it from here. Okay, it's got spark, and I could see the gas coming when I'm looking down here, but I'll show you. And I just want to show you, I'm sure there's gas getting into it.
Yeah, oh yeah,
because it's I can see it going in here.
Oh yeah,
plenty of gas. So let's clean out the carburetor. Okay, I want to check. I want to make sure the same thing like I did on the other one.
Yeah, I got you. Need help?
I want to make sure that there is power getting to that fuel solenoid. Okay. Yep, there we go. Okay, so power's getting to it. So we'll do the same thing. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this fuel solenoid off and see if it's gunked up. If so, I'll probably go under here and take the bowl off the carburetor here, drop it down and see what it looks like. This thing, it was actually stuck closed.
Huh. So it was flooding.
Yeah. But it did look like old gas, and it smells like old gas.
It does.
Alright. So let's take the cover off, and I'll fast forward until we get to the carburetor. Alright, so if you can see there, I just took the carburetor off, did a routine cleaning. That needle valve where this punches into was, no doubt it was pretty corroded in there too. But the gaskets look good, everything looked good. So I'm just going to put all this back together. There, and joking. Put this little cap on here before I forget. But you can see the solenoids moving freely now. Just get this screwed on. Cranked right up.
Okay.
So that told the tale. I'll put the cover back on. Just need some fresh gas for sure, but I want to make sure. I'm going to check the deck and make sure the blades are engaging and all that good stuff.
Okay. I'll let you.
Alright, so it's running pretty good. Checked out the mowing deck. It's engaging properly. The only thing with the mowing deck, you can see here's the wheel over here. The weld came off, and it's starting to do the same back here. You can see the weld cracking there. But everything else, the blade's engaged. It actually looks pretty clean under there. Just the welds. I don't know how many of these I've re-welded on these John Deere mowing decks. But other than that, it's running. So that's it. So just some quick troubleshooting, and got it running pretty smooth. And just some welding work to do on the mowing deck. But other than that, it's ready to go. And that's it. So I guess that's it for this video. Just got a couple of these running. What it take 2 or 3 hours, something like that.
Yeah.
And we got it going. So once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for the next video.